Hey.
Welcome to College Bound Success, College to Career, the podcast for college curious and college bound students and families. Together, we'll navigate the journey from high school to higher education and beyond. I'm Mark Mostalski, an independent college success consultant. I'm here to share strategies, insights, and stories to help you make confident choices about college, careers, and your future. So let's get started. So today I'm really excited. I'm joined by Clay Braida. Clay, you and I, we go back a ways. Our
Long ways.
families, neighbors right there in Durango, Colorado, beautiful Durango, Colorado.
Oh,
So we've known each other for a long time, but I'm excited to be here with you. Number one, to reconnect. It's been a while since we chatted.
yeah, it's
But we worked together on your college journey and everything.
mm.
So let's start by, can you just help everybody who's tuning into this, who are you, where are you today, and a little bit about where you're from.
All right. I'm Clay. I'm from Durango, Colorado, like Mark said, born and raised there. Grew up there, kind of the whole small mountain time thing, just skiing, biking, doing it all. I was looking at a bunch of colleges, and then I ended up going with University of Utah in Salt Lake City. So I'm here now. I'm in my sophomore year. I'm having a very good time. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a lot different from home, but that's kind of what I was looking for. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
it ended
that's
up working out.
awesome. Good, good. Well, Clay, let's go back a little bit. I know
Hmm.
you're in your sophomore year. Let's go back to the high school
Yeah.
time and everything when you and were thinking about college and what that
Hmm.
was going to mean to you. So when you were starting that, what were you looking for? Like initially when you thought about what this college experience was like, what was going through your mind?
So growing up in Durango, for context, Durango has a population of 25,000 people. Not big, not diverse. So my main thing was diversity. Oh, sorry, my camera has a hard time focusing sometimes. My main thing was diversity. I wanted to go somewhere where there are going to be a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions and just have a different environment than the small town thing where everything is kind of the same. Um, so I was definitely looking for a medium to larger student population, just something that would have more diversity. Um, so yeah, that's what I was looking at. Um, I, initially Utah didn't cross my mind at all. It wasn't even on my starting list. I initially was, I think there's this stigma or this thought process about Utah that, oh, it's in Utah, it's in Salt Lake, there are going to be a lot of Mormons there. And it's really not like that. Salt Lake
Hmm.
City, while it has a large Mormon population, the university itself, there are quite a few Mormons, but I would say 70% of the population is everything else.
Hmm.
So, thinking about the Mormon thing, I didn't really think the diversity would be there. But one of the other things I wanted to be able to ski. I've skied since I was two with my dad, so that was just a huge part of what I do during the winter. I love it. It's just something to get my mind off school and release stress and do something fun on the weekends.
Hmm.
Um, so you initially suggested it, but I kind of brushed it off. And it was funny because we were in a cafe when you suggested it, and there was an alumni sitting next to us who actually went to the University of Utah, and he kind of leaned over and said, "I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's actually wrong." And he told me that it actually wasn't like that. And
I remember that. I remember that.
Yep. And so that was very coincidental and very fortunate on my part. Um, but yeah, from there I started looking at it and was looking into what I needed to do to get in, and I fit that criteria well. And it fit a lot of my other criteria, the diversity because of the large population and Salt Lake
Hmm.
City nearby. The skiing. is the best in the West here. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of snow right now, but on a good year, so much snow. So
It's still early, so
yeah,
fingers
yeah,
crossed.
yeah.
You're
Fingers
you're
crossed.
gonna
Exactly.
get you're gonna get the dump.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember? So besides Utah, what other schools were you kind of choosing from, picking from?
University of Washington, uh, Denver University,
The
uh, Oregon, UO, and Oregon State.
Yep.
What else? UC Irvine
Yep.
and CU Boulder, CSU.
Yeah.
I think that was the seven or eight.
Yep.
Those were the initials.
So some commonalities there with larger research institutions. I mean, of all those schools,
Yeah.
I think DU is going to be the smallest, University of Denver.
Small and
But
private. Yeah.
otherwise, some commonalities, right? Some
Uh-huh.
larger flagship institutions, research
Yep.
based. Um, what do you remember? Was I know University of Utah is a WUI school, so for
hmm
people in the West, that can be a significant
Oh yeah.
financial impact. Was that part of the consideration for you?
Well, I knew I wanted to go west.
Yeah.
I didn't like the notion of those cold, frigid winters in the east, and then also not the best skiing. So I generally was going somewhere in the west with a little bit better
Right.
snow. And that was going to be cold in the winters, but not like Midwest, East Coast winters.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
that was the main motivation.
Yeah.
Um, the East Coast just didn't really appeal to me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we started working together, on your college search process and everything, what what do you think was most helpful to you as we were going through this?
Mm. The whole college application process and everything you need to do for it,
Yeah.
it was just so daunting, you know? There's so much to do and so much to keep up with and keep track of that it was just super overwhelming. I will say I was feeling very lost. And I think initially I had this idea that getting help from someone was shameful. I guess
Hmm.
I don't know. I felt like everyone else was doing it, so why couldn't I? Um, but it was just too much.
Hmm.
It was just so hard. And so then I started working with you, and everything kind of got blocked into different sections, and you gave me a little bit more of like a schedule and a timeline to keep up with, and everything was organized. So that kind of organization and making it look not as daunting really gave me a lot of
Right.
motivation to actually do it, and do everything I needed. And it made it just so much easier to manage because I had everything in my folders and all my stuff saved, and I was meeting with you weekly or bi-weekly. And so it was
Yeah,
always
about every
fresh
other
and
week.
on my mind. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
hmm
So, when you arrived at University of Utah,
hmm
compared to, you because you had gone and toured it. I mean, you've
hmm
been to Salt Lake before. Your
Yeah.
family loves to ski, like you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Yeah. Dad worked
But
it out for a
what
long time.
what was different when you stepped on campus as a student? Like, right, this is now my
mm
home, as
mm
opposed to when you're just there as a prospective student. Any
mm.
surprises?
Well, I mean, it feels so different. Like the shock. I didn't think I didn't have a lot of homesickness during the year,
Mm,
which was great because, I kind of wanted to get out from my parents and do my own thing, and that was great. But the shock after my parents leaving and realizing like, oh my God, like I'm in college. It, it was it was so crazy to me. It was
right.
just such a big change, and what was really nice is that everyone around me was in the same boat, you know?
Yeah.
And so that has to be the biggest thing. I knew what I kind of expected, it's
Hmm.
the beginning of college, I would hate to generalize, but it's a little bit standard, There you move in, you, your parents are there for a day, you do stuff with them, and then they leave. And then you're left on your own, and you
Right.
have to figure out what you do. And so that little switch was
Hmm.
definitely, it took some adjusting, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. When you say it took some adjusting, what was it that you had to like? How did you do that adjustment?
Well, I would definitely say when I came to college, I was not nearly as social as I am today. I was
Mm,
social, but I wasn't necessarily like outgoing. I still
okay.
am not super outgoing, but I'll talk to whoever I want to. It's my dad does the same thing. So I kind of inherited that. And I kind of had to tell myself like if I don't go out and talk to people, I'm probably going to regret it.
Hmm.
So I had to take that risk, even though it was daunting, and I had
Yeah.
to go talk to people and make friends. And
Yeah.
initially it wasn't super easy, but once I found a group and I was able to hang out with them, um, it became a lot easier. The more connections you have, the more people you know. You don't even have to be friends with everybody you know. Just knowing
Right.
people and being able to say, "Oh, hey, dude," in the gym, it just it doesn't it makes it you feel like you belong a little bit more. It made me
Hmm.
feel like I had a place. And so
Yeah.
that is one thing I'd recommend. I had a so this is actually kind of a housing thing. Um, During the housing, I wish I would have started a lot earlier on it because the housing applications start early. And that is something
Early.
I
Yes.
wish I would have known. Well, I think I did know, but I procrastinated on it. And my
Hmm.
initial plan was to roommate with one of my good friends from Salt Lake named Taylor. Um, but we started late and we didn't get it done. And so we weren't able to room together. And so I just selected a random room in the same building as him.
Okay.
And 2 days before moving, I selected a double. And 3 days before moving, I got an email saying I was in a triple, not a double anymore. Um, so, you know, not ideal. I was
Yeah.
not very happy about that. It ended up working out great. Not, I, it was a weird circumstance. Um, it was us and then a bathroom and then two roommates on the other side of the bathroom.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
so it was Hunter and one other kid on the other side. And the other kid actually ended up getting institutionalized.
Mm,
Yeah. So I was getting really sick of the triple and I ended up going to the director of housing and I pretty much begged him to switch. And I said, "Hey, I'm super sorry. I can't do this. I can't focus. It's a lot of noise." I had just gotten my diagnosis for ADHD, so I kind of said, "I have ADHD. I can't focus when there are two other people in the room."
right.
And then I got an email and it said, "You can move into the other room." And so it worked out great. And Hunter was a great roommate. I love that kid. I see him every once in a while on campus and we talk and catch up.
Hmm.
But the whole point, sorry, I went on a tangent. The
No.
whole point of
No.
this is
Great.
that one of my initial roommates um, did the opposite of me and stayed in the room and played video games on his laptop all the time.
Right.
And I felt bad, but I never really saw him walking around with other people. He
Yeah.
was kind of always alone. And he was just in our room every night, playing video games, not really socializing or finding people to connect with. And I
Right.
could tell he definitely wasn't having as much fun as I was as a result of that. And
Yeah.
so, if I could recommend anything, it's trying to put yourself out there, find a group you connect with. It doesn't even matter who, because friends
Right.
groups can change, you can change, and as long as you're social and you kind of gain that level of being able to interact with people and make friends, you will gain that
Mhm.
ability quickly because there are a lot of
Right.
people to talk to, a lot more
Yeah.
than you probably did in high school.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just that difference, I met all of my friends during those first 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? It's so we talk about this when you work on campus, how those it's well known your first 8 weeks
Hmm.
establish habits, and habits, as you know, can be good or bad, right?
I had quite a few bad
And
ones
yeah, well,
that I
yeah,
had to
we all,
fix.
we all do. But those first few weeks, in terms of how you choose to show up, if you
Hmm.
choose to show up, right? What you
Hmm.
choose to do, who you talk to, it's just so well known. Those
Yeah,
are incredibly important. So
yeah.
on that note, I'm really glad you shared this. You are in your second year, but if we go back to your first year living in the residence hall, who who were people, or were there programs that helped you with like making that transition easier?
Like moving in and living or
Well, I would
academically
just
wise.
say no. I would say, yeah, I'd say academically and socially, like
Okay.
becoming the
Hmm.
person you now are at the
Hmm.
University of Utah.
Well, I met a lot of I mostly met people just kind of walking around my dorm and talking to them
Hmm.
after I moved in. Um, and so, the universities hold a lot of events so that kids can meet each other and kind of socialize like we were talking about. And so I went to most of those with with that group. And so I didn't end up like becoming really good friends with that group. I know them pretty well, but I don't really hang out with them at all.
Right.
But going to those, I just met so many people. And so those events are nice. Usually there's free food too, and I
It
am
always helps.
I am habitually a fat person. I love eating, I love food. And so the concept of free food always brings me to those. So I go to those as much as I can. Even now, if there's an event, if there's free food, I'm there. That's all you have to say, you know? Um, Academically wise, two big things. It's the
Yeah.
TAs. The TAs are your friend. They are students like you. They know what you're going through. They know how hard the class is, and they've also taken the class. And because they've taken the class, they were able to be TAs. And to be a TA, you generally have to get a really good grade in the class.
Right. Right.
So, because they got the good grades in the class, they know the professor, they know what the course is going to look like, they know all the ins and outs.
Hmm.
They know their stuff. And so that knowledge, it comes from TAs, I would say, a little bit more openly than a lot of professors.
Yeah.
Professors are always going to be open to talk to you, but generally they want you to go and learn the stuff yourself.
Hmm.
Um,
It's self-direction. Self-direction.
so TA help hours, office hours, so helpful. I can't understate this enough.
Yeah.
Freshman year, computer science TAs and lab hours was just it carried me through and helped me pass those classes by
Yeah.
so much. Um, on the other one is the academic advisors.
Okay.
Academic advisors are a blessing. They will help you with finding your classes, figuring out your major, making sure you're getting all your credits, making sure that you are doing what you want to do. And
Hmm.
so I use them a lot. I use we have an electrical engineering academic advisor named Maddie. And
Hmm.
she's great. She's great. She's really nice. And I've gone to her every single semester so that I can figure out my classes. It makes it so much easier rather than
Nice.
having to go and look at the track and see, okay, I need to take this, and this and figure it out myself.
Right.
It's easier to go there and have someone explain it to me because, scheduling classes your first and second semester is really daunting. It's
Yeah.
hard to figure out. It's not easy.
It's
And
not.
so
It's
having that
not.
knowledge of what classes you need to take and what knowledge you need to have, it's so nice. It
Yeah.
it it helps me so much. It gets rid of so much stress for me.
Yeah. Well, what I like about your two examples right there, Clay, is your first example of the teaching assistants, TAs. Those are peers. Those are other students. And then your second example are the academic advisors, and those are professional staff. So what I
Hmm.
like is how you highlighted, right? Students helping students and then
Yeah.
pro staff helping. So
Hmm.
I think that those are two really good examples. Um,
And I
so on
mean,
the academic, oh, go ahead.
and I mean, the thing is, you're at university. The people that are teaching you and the people that are getting paid to do their jobs to help you are there to help you. They're not there to hurt your progress. So that's their jobs.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
want
they're
you to
there for.
succeed. Yeah, they
Yeah.
want you to succeed. So sticking on the academics, um, you have switched majors.
Hmm.
So what did you come in with? What are you now? And what made you like what happened that you said, I think I need to switch. Can you take us through that?
So in high school, I did one or two coding classes, and I thought I liked coding. I liked high school coding. Um, the
Gotcha.
second I got to college and I had to take my coding classes, spending 6 hours in the TA help labs every week, I realized that I didn't enjoy coding anymore. Um, and so the department ECE, Electrical and Computer Engineering, for the first 2 semesters, computer engineers and electrical engineers have the exact same track because computer engineering is technically a little bit of a subsect of electrical engineering because you're working with signals and computer design and stuff like that, but you're also working with coding.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a mix of coding and electrical engineering.
Mhm.
So we also were taking ECE classes at the same time. Or ECE is electrical engineering classes, so circuit analysis, power, things like that. And
Mhm.
so while those ECE classes were more difficult, I will say they're very challenging. My ECE class right now that I'm taking is the hardest class I probably would have ever taken.
Okay.
Um, it's the average on the first exam. I hate to, scare people away from this, but this is just how it goes.
Right.
The average on the first exam was a 50, was a 60. The average
Yeah.
on this most recent exam was a 55.
Mm.
So
Been there.
it's engineering. That's just
Yep.
how it's going to go. It's a hard major. Oh no, it's hard. That was kind of the thing that I had to adjust to when I got to
Yeah.
college.
Hmm.
We're not in high school anymore. We have to study and commit a lot more hours, a lot more time to make sure that we get through these. Because engineering, every year, there's always a weed out class that you're going to take. It's always a class that's going to feel unnecessarily hard.
Mm.
But if you pass it, even if you pass your first year classes, you're way ahead of so many people. There's so
Right.
many people who drop out in the first year because they can't handle it. So even
Right.
if you make it through first year, you're already ahead. That's just how I view it.
Yeah.
Um, but oh yeah, so back to the why I switched. So we were
Yeah.
taking the ECE classes at the same time. While they were harder, I enjoyed them more.
Hmm.
And there was also a lab that had to do with the ECE class, and it was building circuits. And growing up, huge fan of Lego, huge fan of Lego. And so building the circuits for me was similar in a way to building a Lego set. You're given a schematic, you're given requirements for what it is to do, how it's supposed to work, and you have to build it. And I really enjoyed that kind of creative but also analytical side of it. And so because they were the same track, it meant I didn't have to take any other classes to switch. And so I just decided to switch.
Okay. Oh, awesome. And so here you are in year two.
Hmm.
Um, I'm interested because I know, my background is also engineering, as you
Hmm.
know. Um, is the University of Utah really promoting like doing a summer internship or cooperative education? I see
Hmm.
you're nodding your head. Yeah, what types of things are they doing already?
So it's not necessarily the University of Utah that
Hmm.
promote this, but
Yeah.
every fall and semester there is a STEM career fair where students can go and give and hopefully get internships or interviews for
Hmm.
them. I unfortunately had to miss this last fall one because I had an
Mm,
exam,
okay.
which I was not happy about. But I went to uh, my freshman year, I went to the spring and fall, and
Yeah.
pretty much everyone told me, come back when you're a sophomore,
Okay.
which that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Freshman year, it's extremely hard to get an internship. You can do it.
Mm,
I know people that have done it, but
yep.
it's 1%. It's very low.
Mm,
Most interns are sophomore and up, and that's just kind of how it goes.
yeah.
Um, but other than that, the University of Utah doesn't really promote it, but the academic advisors, they know what needs to happen. I was actually talking to Maddie recently so I could get my schedule for next semester, and I was talking to her about doing a summer semester. And she looked at me and she goes, "You're not doing a summer semester. You're getting an internship or you're doing research." I
Mm.
was like, "Okay." And
Oh, wow.
so in the eyes of engineering companies, research is the same as an internship. While you're not getting paid nearly as much or at all while doing research, it still is viewed as experience by those in the workforce. And
Hmm.
what companies value is experience, which is hard because it's like a catch 22. You know,
Right.
it's super hard to get internships because you can't get an internship without experience. And so as a sophomore or as someone who doesn't have experience working in it, how am I supposed to get one? Well, you make a really good resume, you work on projects if you don't get anything over the summer and you do a summer semester. And
Yeah.
those projects and those separate things you do on the side make you look better or more appealing to these companies.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you're being exposed to that. Because my first job in higher ed was actually engineering career services at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And those are the things we were doing. We were doing resume reviews, mock interviews, and helping undergrads get
I
some
actually have,
internships. And
yeah,
yeah,
they're career coaches here, and I
yeah,
have it on my list that I'm going to schedule an interview with one here in a week or two. I
good.
just have an exam next week, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, what exam's
well,
that?
another ECE one.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
You'll do well.
our
You'll do well.
professor on Canvas on the schedule, it said it was December 1st.
Yep.
And this previous Wednesday, so guys, we're going to be starting to prepare for the exam on Wednesday. Okay.
Yep. Like,
Yep.
okay, here we
Yep.
go. Here we
Okay.
go. What sort of like social things are you taking advantage of? I mean, at a big school like Utah, it's a big school with athletics, and you talked about the diversity of campus. What are some of the things that you're doing outside of the classroom?
So there are a lot. So One Love Ski Club is probably the biggest club on campus. It's super easy to join, and the benefit is that if you join it and you join it early enough, you can get a discount code for Icon and other passes.
Oh,
So
those ski
rather
passes,
than
yeah.
paying $1,500 for an Icon, I only had to pay 1,000 just for
Okay.
paying $10 and enrolling in the club. So
Okay.
it's a huge money saver.
Can I
Um,
join the club?
you can only join it if you're a student.
All right.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it does. They hold a ton of social events. They hold tailgates for the football games. They host like these parties at these venues downtown for Halloween, 18 plus. So,
Mhm.
and those are super fun. I've gone to all of those. They've recently actually held a uh, a rail jam in
Oh,
our
wow.
like
Okay.
union area. And so they
Hmm.
built like this massive structure and people started up here and they would hit rails and jumps and stuff. And it was a competition and it was hosted by the Student Union, One Love, and Woodward, which is actually in Park City.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there
Yeah.
was a Utah men's section for skiing, snowboarding for men's, women's skiing and snowboarding, and then additionally, they had a pro session at the end. So cool.
Nice.
So cool.
Nice.
And so that was super fun. I haven't really attended any of these other social events this year.
Hmm.
But in the past, in freshman year, there were a lot of, for just holidays and events, things
Hmm.
held at the Union that I'd go to. There were There
Yep.
was a super fun like Crimson Night freshman year, and it was just like this big stage, and there was a DJ, and there was just a huge crowd of people dancing, and there were
Right.
things going on, games inside, and bowling and pool, and it was really fun. So that is
Nice.
that is one that I remember the most.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
that's
the
great.
the events are fun.
Yeah.
I think there's a fear that it's kind of corny to go to those, but so many
Yeah,
people go to them,
it's a big part.
and
It's a big
it's
part
it's
of the
it,
college experience.
it really makes it more enjoyable. It
Yeah.
really gives you something to do.
Now, we didn't touch on this, but your freshman year, you obviously lived in the residence halls. You're a sophomore. Are you in an apartment?
Yes, I'm in an
Okay.
apartment.
Independent living. So what's different when you leave the residence hall and now you're signing a lease, you're living on your own, you're prepping your own food, right?
Uh,
You're not
uh,
relying on a dining hall. What has that been like?
yeah, the food thing and the independent living are two big things. When I was in the residence hall, uh, I had all of my meals for the week there, and there were multiple meal halls on campus that I could go to and pop into for easy lunches when I was on campus. So
Mhm.
convenient, so nice. It was really expensive though. The meal
Mhm.
plan is expensive.
Yeah.
And so I am really into lifting weights. That has just become a huge part of my life since like junior year of high school.
Mhm.
And so I was trying to bulk and put on weight. And so I would go into the meal halls and I would get my value every meal.
The
Uh,
all you care to eat, right?
mhm. Yep. So I was getting a lot of food very conveniently made for me, quick, easy. Um, and all the housing things was through the University of Utah. I just had to go to my student portal and I could pay for everything there and do it all there and didn't have to worry about electricity, gas, buying my
Right.
own food. I just had to worry about getting snacks and things that I needed and things that I wanted in my dorm. All the furniture was already in there, so I didn't have to worry about that. I just had to bring the stuff that I needed, and that was it. Um, to now, um, again, I started on housing late. I I thought I would learn my lesson from last year. Guess I didn't. So I started late again. So finding housing over the summer was a little bit stressful, but Taylor and I got super lucky. We were looking for a place that was close to campus, and we were looking, looking, looking. I wasn't in Salt Lake, but he was. And this where we are now popped up on Zillow all of a sudden.
Mhm.
And I texted him. I was like, look at this place. Oh, sweet. This place looks awesome. Like, let's go check it. Could I go check it out? And yeah, yeah, go check it out. Call the guy, text the guy. We instantly get a text back. Taylor comes and tours it. And then the guy actually held it for us while we decided if we wanted it, which was super nice because he said he got 6 requests for it
Oh wow.
like hours after Taylor came into it. So
Hmm.
he held it for us, super nice. Um, so my mom is the kind of person that is you have to learn it. And so I had to go over and read through my entire lease, which you need to do. There
Hmm.
was a bunch of stuff in there where I was like, oh, that's nice to know. That's why I'm reading this. I understand this. Um, and so that was definitely a little bit intimidating too. The whole signing the lease and looking at how much rent is due every month and just being like, oh my gosh, like we have our own place. We're taking care of everything.
Right.
Um, that was big. And then also we pay a $75 a month charge for or $50 a month charge for water and for sewage and for trash disposal. So that's we can use as much water as we want, so that's super nice. Um, but we have to pay for gas and electricity. And so keeping up with those bills, I had to set up auto pay. I had to set up auto pay on the lease. Um, because the first month of gas, I actually didn't set up auto pay and I had to pay extra money because I was late on rent.
Yeah, missed the bill.
So
Sure.
valuable lesson to learn.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, additionally, food. Food it's not that it has been harder to come by, but I have a lot less time. One, because I'm taking more classes, but two, because I have to cook the food on my own. So I am meal prepping a lot of food on
Right.
Sundays so that I have meals for the rest of the week. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to put on weight right now again, but I don't have time to eat. Or I don't have, yeah, it's just harder to eat.
Right.
I can't just, pop over to the union and get food on my meal plan and then go back to the library. I have to bring food and heat it up in the library and eat it and keep going.
Right.
So that is definitely been a challenge.
Yeah.
And food is expensive.
It
Food
is.
is,
And in fact, thinking about uh, what I think a lot of families should be aware of when they're thinking about a college and you look at the costs, right? It is very common for housing and food to cost more than tuition.
yeah,
And
the
yeah,
housing
and yep,
and tuition and the food, the
yep,
housing and the food were probably the main parts of my tuition.
exactly. Yeah, that's very common. And sometimes we don't think about that.
No. And I mean, while I am paying less for food now, it's the convenience factor
Right.
is
You,
it just,
it's a balance, right?
yeah.
Like somebody cooking your food and providing it to you so you can just, go and get a plate and scoop it is different than you spending hours on a Sunday meal prepping.
Hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
But I love cooking, so the meal prepping aspect of it is a little bit therapeutic for me. So
Good.
it's just something to
Good.
get my mind ready for the week.
All right. Well, I hope you're bulking up with it.
Well, I got sick, so I just lost a bunch of
Uh,
weight, but that's college. You're around so many
yep.
other people so much of the time. You may not get sick, but
Yep.
it's pretty inevitable. You will get sick.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
kind of how it is, especially in the dorms. The dorms, you're around so many people living in a
You're
shared
surrounded.
space. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Well, Clay, I really appreciate your time. I guess one final question for you. So, thinking back, where you are now and going through this process. So, if you were talking, to a high school junior, senior, and their parents, what advice would you give to them about, what to be thinking about this whole process, what to be open to? What would your advice be?
Go to a college that fits you. So many people go to colleges because their parents went there or their friends are going there. And then they end up hating it because it's not a good fit for them. It's a good fit for their friends or it's what their parents want.
Hmm.
No offense to the parents, but this is about your kid. This is about
Yeah.
making them happy and them enjoying their college and them getting a good education. And the difference between, we talked about what is the value of college. The difference of leaving a college with a degree and not having a degree, just money wise, and I hate to say it, status wise, having a degree opens doors. It makes life after college 10 times easier.
Hmm.
It shows you have an education. It shows that you made it through college, which is no easy
Hmm.
feat. It shows that you can do it. You can work and you have the capability to do what companies want you to do. Um, Additionally, the same thing for a major. A lot of people go into majors and they figure out they don't like their major.
Yeah.
Some people don't switch and then they're miserable because of it. If you're miserable in your major and you stick with it and you end up going into a field that you don't like, what's the point?
All right.
There's no shame in changing your major. There's zero shame, even if you have to take more classes. If you enjoy it more and you are more passionate about it, you're going to enjoy it more later in life.
Yeah.
So, it,
Very true.
yeah, I would say that
Yeah.
is the biggest thing. Do what makes you happy. Because if you're not happy, the stress, maybe the homesickness,
Mm.
whatever it is, it's going to be multiplied and it's
Yeah.
going to be so much worse. The easier you make it on yourself and the more you enjoy what you're doing, the more motivated you are going to be to go to classes and do well. And the more you do well, and the more you go to class, and the more you succeed, the easier things are going to get. The classes aren't going to get easier, but you're going to get used to it and you're going to be better because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's a great theme to end this conversation on, Clay. So,
Yeah.
Clay, thank you so much.
Yeah, of
It's been great
course.
talking with you and sharing all of your experience and everything.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of you for also joining us here on College Bound Success, College to Career. If you found today's episode helpful, please be sure to follow, rate, share it with someone who is navigating the college journey. And for more tips, tools, support, please visit my website at moskalskicoaching.com. But until next time, stay curious, stay confident, and stay boundless. Thanks, everybody.